Welcome to Vocabulary TV. This is our 35th video lesson on roots, prefixes and suffixes in English vocabulary. In this episode, we shall cover two very important word roots that have given rise to several interesting words in English. The Latin root ped and its Greek counterpart pod both mean foot, and the words that you can see hanging on the tree branches are related to these roots and can be learned easily using this root connection. First, the easiest ones. The root itself can be memorized with the help of simple words like pedal. A pedal is a lever that you push with your foot to make a machine move, work or stop. When we pedal a bicycle, we make it move forward with the help of our feet. Animals, birds, insects, etc. can also be classified according to the number and type of feet they possess. Invertebrates, meaning those animals which have a backbone, humans for instance are bipeds because they have 2 feet. Most of the other mammals like dogs, cows, elephant, etc. are called quadrupeds because they have 4 feet. Note that the prefix bi means 2, whereas the prefix quad means 4. A species of dinosaurs, one of the largest animals to have ever lived on Earth, were called sauropods, which literally means lizard feet. A large number of invertebrate animals, such as insect, spider, or crustacean, are called arthropods because they literally have joined foot. The prefix arth means joints, and remember, arthritis is a disease of the joints. Most arthropods are segmented, meaning that their bodies are divided into sections, as you can see here in this centipede. The sections have pairs of jointed legs. These can range from 3 pairs in many insects to dozens in centipedes and about 200 pairs in some millipedes. Though you expect 100 feet in centipedes and around 1000 feet in millipedes, but in reality, centipedes could have anywhere from 15 to 173 segments, each with 1 pair of legs. And then there are certain mollusks like octopus, squids, etc. which are called cephalopods because they are head-footed animals. You can notice the well-developed head and eyes and its feet in the form of tentacles. Moving on to other words beyond this classification, we have the word pedestrian. One who walks on foot is known as a pedestrian. On busy roads, you have pedestrian crossings so that the pedestrians can easily cross over. The word can also be used as an adjective to describe something that you think is ordinary and dull, uninspiring or boring. And you will be surprised to know that this adjective sense was the original sense in which the word started getting used. To be pedestrian was to be drab or dull, as if plodding along on foot rather than traveling by a speedy vehicle like a horseback or carriage in olden days. Well, the word pedestrian can describe almost anything like someone's taste, lifestyle, qualities, etc. could be called pedestrian. To give an example, I can say that as a housewife, one often gets exhausted by pedestrian concerns like buying utilities, cooking food, dropping and picking children from school, etc. We know that in British system, distance was, and it still is, measured in feet, which is supposedly the distance covered in 1 step. One may want to measure the distance that he or she has walked using a pedometer, which is a device that estimates the distance travelled on foot by recording the number of steps taken. Moving on, if someone faces a foot problem, he or she would need to go to a podiatrist for medical advice. As you would have guessed, a podiatrist is a foot doctor, a specialist in care for the feet. Though a foot doctor could also be called a chiropodist, but this is less commonly used than a podiatrist. The branch of medicine devoted to the treatment of feet and their ailments is called podiatry or chiropody. And if you're not suffering from a specific feet ailment as such and would just want to pamper yourself and your feet, you might want to take a pedicure, which is care of feet and toenails. The nomenclature doesn't stop at that. One of the most important functions of our feet is that they are a base for our body to stand on. Similarly, we have tripod, meaning a stand with 3 feet on which one can mount a camera or some other apparatus. Not to forget the word podium, which means a small platform on which a person may stand to be seen by an audience, as when making a speech. Another word for podium is dais. In schools and colleges, if there is a seminar or a function going on, the host would sometimes address the guest, "I would now invite Mr. So-and-so to the podium or the dais to speak on the topic." And we have the word pedestal, which is literally a base for a statue or monument. A pedestal is like the feet that provides the support or foundation for the thing mounted over it. Now, typical objects mounted on pedestals are of religious or historical significance, like perhaps the statues of gods and goddesses, and people admire and revere them. So there is one more meaning the word has acquired over time. A pedestal also implies a position in which someone is greatly or uncritically admired. Like, let's suppose in a particular country there is a monarch. The way his people would look up to him is as if he were on a pedestal. Then there are those words that are a little complex but nonetheless are used commonly in English. The very first of these is expedite. Expedite comes from Latin expedire. The prefix ex means out and ped means feet. So expedite is literally taking the feet out of their shackles, that is, freeing the feet. And talk about freeing the feet. Freeing the feet can definitely help you move faster. So the word expedite means to make something like an action or a process happen more quickly or faster by removing the constraints. So for example, if you're expecting a check or some delivery, you might ping your supplier or customer and request that guy of a speedy resolution by saying, "I've been waiting for this so long, so would you please check at your end and expedite my delivery or expedite my payment?" I would say you can't miss this word. This word is the reason why logistics companies are named Expedite Express or Expedite Cargo, and more prominent one, Expedia. Hope that helps you remember the meaning of expedite. Then we have the word expedition. An expedition is literally freeing of the foot for travel. The word expedition means a journey undertaken by a group of people with a particular purpose, especially that of exploration, research, or war. In fact, you can learn not one but 2 words here by memorizing the phrase to embark on an expedition, meaning start on a new journey. The phrase helps us recall the meanings of both embark and expedition. In formal language, one might use this word in another meaning, which is promptness or speed in doing something. Like I can say, the Chief Minister promised that remedial measures would be taken with all possible expedition. The word is similar to the word expedite in this meaning. A related word is expeditious. Something that is expeditious is marked by speed and efficiency, like an expeditious investigation. There is one word which is often confused with expeditious, the word expedient. The word hails from the same root, but its meaning has developed differently over time. There is not so much the notion of speed and efficiency in its meaning like that of expeditious. Expedient describes something that is convenient, suitable, and practical, although possibly improper or immoral. Expedient is something that provides an immediate advantage and serves one's immediate self-interest. The word could be used as an adjective and as a noun. Two examples that make its meaning clear are: in view of the huge losses the company had made, the top management decided it was expedient to terminate the contract and fire the temporary staff deployed on the project. And after their breakup, maintaining a cordial relationship with the superstar, her ex-boyfriend, was just an expedient for the young actress to safeguard her own career. Again, two more very important words derived from the root are impede and impediment. Since the prefix im means in and ped means foot, an impediment is literally the condition of having one's foot in something, like perhaps shackles, which will obviously obstruct you and slow you down. So, to impede means to obstruct or hinder or slow down the progress of something. And the word impediment is used to refer to such obstruction or hindrance itself. Impediments usually get in the way of something that we want. An example would be lack of basic infrastructure, roads, hospitals, schools, etc. is an impediment for economic development. Closer to the end, we have the word pedigree. You can instantaneously recall it as it is a very famous brand of dog food. Pedigree is a record of descent of an animal, showing it to be purebred. The definition can be easily related to the motive behind the brand name. And in fact, the slogan used for many years for pedigree dog food was "Top breeders recommend it." The company changed it only in the last decade. When describing animals, I might say that when I adopted a particular pup, I inquired for his pedigree before doing so. Now you might be wondering, what does someone's ancestry have to do with the feet? After going through several sources like the Merriam-Webster dictionary, I found that's because someone once thought that a family tree or a genealogical chart resembled a crane's foot, which in French is pied de grue. Even though crane's feet only have 4 talons or claws, no more than any other bird, while a family tree might have hundreds of branches. Interesting, huh? Not only for animals, the same word can be used for humans and other entities as well. The recorded ancestry or lineage of a person or family is also termed pedigree, though I might prefer the word lineage instead. An example sentence would be, the conglomerate has an excellent pedigree with over a century in business. Now quickly, two words that deserve a mention as they are derived from the same root ped, though they don't have ped in their spellings. Sometimes it's just amazing to know that one single root can branch out into words with totally different meanings. Words like peon and pioneer originated from foot, from the Latin word pedon, which meant a foot soldier. Peon was inherited from Latin to Spanish to English and went on to mean a person who does menial work like a day laborer or an unskilled farm worker. The word pioneer was adopted from Latin into French and then into English. In the early 16th century, pioneer was used as a military term denoting a member of the infantry. But now pioneer, as we know it, is the first one to do a particular activity, which may be to explore or settle a new country, area, or even discover or invent something. For instance, C.V. Raman could be called a pioneer in the field of plant physiology. Now test your understanding of the words learnt in this lesson by filling in the blanks below. It is recommended that you pause the video when the timer starts. And that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you liked it. Subscribe our channel and stay tuned for more such videos. Thank you.